Quap actually, it looks like she's getting a Yule Scepter here. Interesting. Not the current build that you see a lot of the times, but I mean, it's going to be useful. If she needs to jump on the Tinker and he's trying to TP out, she can use him up if she needs to, and especially for that Spear Breaking coming in, and she can just turn on him pretty much. And obviously with the Shadow Fiend, when they want to go full team fight, if Shadow Fiend's going to throw off the ult before he gets his BKB, then yeah, she can just basically turn around, Yules him, and then throw the Scream as soon as he comes down. So yeah, it's not a horrible pickup, just a little interesting.
I'll take that.
Both teams still kind of just harvesting up whatever farm they can get. Ice9 going back to this camp here, and looks to just be, yeah, it's a triple stack. And actually Ace is going to help them out with that too. They're just all going to go for the XP, while the rest of TSD are just going to farm here throughout their jungle. Get some wards out, get a little bit of vision. And they might, yeah, they do spot this Observer ward right here with this sentry, so they do know that they are being spotted out, and they're just going to look to get back. T1 tower on bottom sitting pretty low, so they might want to start pushing this out. A-Blast going to the Rosh pit. They think that he might be in there, but nah, nobody there. And they're actually all smoked up here. Stallion, full team smoke here. Gets revealed by JFX, and he has no idea that they were there. Throws out the fish on Faith, but Visage actually picking up the kill there. And Quap looks to go farther. Jumps on top of this AA. He tries to TP out. Gets screamed down by the Sonic Wave of Queen of Pain. And they go hard on this on Be Happy. Throwing out the ult from Ice9. And he goes down. That's a 3-for-1. And they actually do go back into the Rosh pit. So definitely good little engagement for the side of Stallion. And they pick up quick 3 kills there. And TSD farming a lot of time in the jungle here. And might be a little too long, because now Stallion's going to start taking control of the map again. They've taken all the T1s. They've only lost theirs on mid. Now they take the Roshan. So A just going to Quap. And they're just going to start to continue to ball here, just like they did in last game. G doing a ton of work running mid. Definitely a really good and current player. And I mean, like I said last time, you don't see the TA picked quite a bit, and he rolls with it really good. So seeing somebody pick up the Quap instead, which is a hero that we do see a lot running mid, you just know that he's going to be able to get a lot of things done with him. And so I'm not going to say anything to this Yule Scepter build. Now that he's picked up the Aegis, he's going to have a lot of survivability, and he should be able to get pickoffs. Interesting to see if he goes for this Aghanim Scepter next to get the ult cooled down a little bit. And yeah, he's going to play it a little deep here. Going to get some creep waves. Does not know that the Shadow Fiend's actually in Viz, so just playing it a little deep here. A-Blast does actually go out. She does blink away. She should be okay unless she sticks around too long. Shadow Fiend's still in Viz, they have no idea. And Visage actually coming in from the side. Being charged as well, stun goes out. This is going to be a dead Visage. Valve actually throwing out the ult. Beastmaster coming in from the side, he's rather low. Goes down to the Shadow Fiend, gets off the ult just before he dies. Killing spree with Ace in the back. And he's going to look to go hard and Be Happy. Little does he know that Vavel is on the side. Gets charge real quick, stun goes out. And Shadow Fiend getting a double kill there. So 4 down for the side of Stallion. And only Lion and Tinker going down for TSD. So good fight for them, good little win, and a lot of golden change in the hand of Vavel, picking up a couple of those kills, and really in the impact of huge of it. Gets off that, gets that Invis rune and does a ton of work. Another AA Blast is coming down on mid here. And I think it's going to be too little too late. G sitting pretty low, but still has the Aegis, so he's not going to look to go back here. Has picked up a haste rune on his bottle, so should be able to get out. Almost has picked up his level 2 ult, and Tinker's actually coming in. Cancels his TP. So she's going to just continue to push this lane. Be Happy charging hard on that Beastmaster, but more of just a harass than anything, and he's just going to look to kind of walk back here. So yeah, now we've reached 15 minutes or 16 minutes, sorry, into this game, and it's probably just going to be more of a farming game back and forth here, unless the side of Stallion really wants to go hard on some of these supports and kind of pick them off in the back end, which they can do. But I think you're going to see Shadow Fiend want to pick up a couple more items along with this Spirit Breaker, be able to tank up a little bit more, maybe go for that Blade Mail. Even a BKB as well would help him survive quite a bit. Quap still doesn't have her egg, so not doing a ton of damage, but it is pure still, and that will still burst down a Spirit Breaker if he doesn't get off too many stuns right off the bat. Tinker just going back and forth with this bottom lane. Really starting to try and push it out, and Quap actually comes in, blows the ult, throws off, and actually doesn't take down the Tinker. She gets gone on instead, and this is Spirit Breaker going to be coming in. She does use the Eel Scepter, so good use by her. Tinker tries to throw out the missiles and doesn't quite get her, but A Blast coming in from the side. It does actually, she does dodge it with the blink, so tries to go hard on 2 and almost ends up paying the price, but she does get out with her blink, and Be Happy's just going to look to stay on bottom here, farm up a little bit more. And like I said, it's going to be the farming game. Vavil's now picked up a Blink Dagger, and along with the mechanism, so he's going to be quite fine for himself. And yeah, Tinker's just going to go bouncing around the map here. He has finally picked up his Blink Dagger as well, so look for him maybe. I mean, he does have the Soul Ring already. He might actually go Bloodstone, but he could end up going for that Dagon build real quick here too to get some more damage out. He is doing quite a bit for pushing. That being said, they're still pretty squishy on the side of Stallion. Picking up a Dagon isn't the worst thing ever, especially if you can hit that Drow. Now that she's picked up a Sanjanyasha, she's a little bit more tanky, but if you can hit her with that Mask of Madness while she's got that turned on, it's going to be a lot of output damage towards her. G's still carrying that Aegis. It's probably going to be expiring here rather quick. Yeah, Rosh's got a couple more minutes up, so yeah, it'll be expiring here pretty quick. So they might look to actually want to team fight this right away. Use the Aegis up. A Blast going out, misses on everybody, just catches the tail end of Faith, but he'll be fine. Spirit Breaker actually charging hard in, and yeah, Quap comes in, throws him up in the Eel Scepter, and secures the silence on Ace just in case. And yeah, they're just going to get back. They don't want to engage on anything quite yet, especially with this Aegis most likely expiring right away. I mean, Spirit Breaker did charge pretty deep there, but with the 2 Blink Daggers on their 2 carries, they might as well just play it safe at this moment. Blade Mail coming out on the side of Spirit Breaker, and Smoke actually being popped here. And it's JFX, Vavil, and Be Happy under the smoke here. They might actually want to go for this Quap. Instead, she blinks across the map, so not going to be able to catch up to her quite yet, and she's going to look to get the eggs. She does already have the point booster, and she finally picks up an Ogre Club as well. She does know Tinker's here, and she might have spotted out which way she went. No, Tinker's going to get out safe, so she'll just kind of push up bottom lane as well. Top lane, Smoke coming out from those 2. Venge smoked up and jumps in. Killing spree on Be Happy. I missed that one on mid here. We actually see Ace going down to the Spirit Breaker. And he's going to start charging back and forth around this map and getting as much kill potential as possible. And he goes hard on Ice 9, but he's able to TP back and slingshot effect on Be Happy, and he's going to run all the way to the jungle and disengages in the river. Party Bear, meanwhile, is just going to sit in the jungle. He's going to go for the minus armor build here, along with his passive, as well as getting the Medallion of Courage, so good for him. He's going to just kind of sit back and farm some more camps, and it's basically all I can do. Faith picks up the Tranquil Boots, so not a ton of farm coming out on the supports quite yet. So, I mean, traditionally the Faith does go for anybody on bench, rather, will go for that Force Staff, just in case the swap and being able to jump back out and not using the swap basically just to die for Sacrificial Lamb for 1 hero. So look for her to pick up that Force Staff. It's interesting to see for sure. And yeah. Shadow Fiend actually picking up the Ogre Club, so he will be going for the BKB. Lion carrying a ton of wards here, so it might just end up being a ward war between these 2 teams. TSD wanting a lot of control of this map, and they have a couple of wards here in their own jungle, but nothing really on the side over on the other side of the river. So they might actually have to get some wards up here to be able to control and actually look for a spotted team fight. Now with this Blink Dagger on the Shadow Fiend, they haven't really utilized it so much. Eventually when he gets his BKB, it will be time for them to turn something into a fight. And it looks like Drow is actually going to pick up a BKB as well. She does carry the Ogre Club along with her Sanjanyasha, so she will tank up. And Ice 9 actually getting a Vlad, so ton of tank coming out from the side of Stallion. Even though they are really squishy in the early game with that Drow and Visage and Venge, they all do eventually tank up. And Be Happy is actually charging still to this Beastmaster on Ice 9. And neglects to keep going and just gets out. Gonna get nicked by on that AA blast, but Ice 9 should be okay. And looks like he's actually going to chase down Be Happy. Expends the ult, and he's going hard with that slow of his little beast there. And Drow throws out the silence. He does have the Blade Mail up. She's got to be careful. And Lion coming out with the finger. Turns on the Drow. AA taking out Drow Ranger. Ace going down real quick to that finger. But Spirit Breaker is exceptionally low. And Vavel coming in from the back end. He's going to be able to pick up this Vengeful Spirit. Tinker actually finishes it off. Spirit Breaker is still not gone down. Dodges the axes there. And Lion ends up killing Queen of Pain. Spirit Breaker, have you not? You finally go down. Be Happy doing a ton of work there. And just does not fall to anything except in the end that Visage finally gets off a blast, getting his killing spree. And so that's a 3-1 for the side of TSD. And looking at the goal graphs here, I mean, swing back into the side of Slam Dunk. Stallion had a decent commanding lead there, pushing out all the lanes, but with that team fight, able to take it right back, and both XP and gold sitting close to 0 now. Drow farming quite well, sitting at 167 and 20, and Shadow Fiend got 163 last hits for himself. So both of them doing quite well. They're really going to be the main right clickers, obviously, of both of these teams. So it's going to be interesting to see if Shadow Fiend goes for more of... He could potentially go into a Butterfly himself, get that agility online. So could the Drow, though. She has the Sanjin Yasha. She might actually split that up. It would be a decent idea to build it into Helvet's Halberd, or she switches up and goes into the Silver Edge with the side of Sanj and that, and then goes into Manta. That's fine as well. Either way, it's good against the Shadow Fiend. But I feel like you're going to need some sort of disarm for the Shadow Fiend. He has been able to farm up quite a bit, and he still has not gone down. He's sitting at 2-0-4, and he's going to just take control of these camps here. Getting really close to BKB as well. He's sitting at, yeah, he's only 10 gold off of BKB, so... we'll be getting that coming online right away. Ice9 just starting to farm up his own jungle as well, and after that little engagement, thought he could take down the Spirit Breaker, but feels he needs a little bit more damage perhaps, and sitting at 2k gold here, and doing decent in net worth. He's not by any means way far back, sitting at 6,500, and I mean, Tinker's jumping around the map, and he's actually going to jump right in here. Blinks out of the way, so Ice9 won't be able to find him. Throws out the axes just for good measure, but yeah, no harm done. Spirit Breaker actually charging deep in on him and pulls it off. Hawk just being fed to the cogs there, or the March of the Machines there right at the last end. So free 60 gold for Tinker. And he does have his Dagon online. Just Dagon level 1. Jukes out the TP, as we do see a lot of rotations coming up mid. So four going on the side of Slam Dunk up top and wanting to push this tower really hard. They are taking it down rather quick, and Tinker's just going to continuing to push bottom. And with his Dagon, he might actually just be able to TP in and jump in on one of the side of Stallion and throw out a quick Dagon and get one of the kills online here. Party Bear just staying deep in the jungle and farming. He does pick up a Solar Crest, so lots of armor coming out from him. And the minus armor is also huge, obviously, with this Vengeful Spirit. She hasn't picked up a medallion this game. She's going real hard support, but that's okay. I mean, she has the Wave of Terror, and combined with that Solar Crest from the Visage, that right click's going to be huge, especially from that Drow Ranger. Be Happy and Vizd up here with his new and approved Shadow Amulet. Could be turning that one to a Silver Edge as well. We see that item come out so much on everybody anymore, so he's just going to play the sneaky build here, and does get vision on G here. Charges up. She doesn't see him coming from a mile away. Throws out the ult. Expends the ult on Shadow Fiend too. Blows her up instantly, and that's going to be a kill on G. Vavel picking up a huge pickoff here. 413 change towards Vavel, and definitely a huge pickoff. Quap is definitely needed in those kind of team fights, and I miss one, and AA actually getting a kill on Ice9. Killing spree for the AA. And just like that, Slam Dunk able to take control of this game. And Shadow Fiend sitting at almost 13k in net worth, just above this Drow Ranger by about 1,000 gold here. And I mean, he's got the mech, he's got the BKB, he's really tanky. So if he's already doing a ton of damage, just look out, because once he goes for that physical damage item, whether it is a Deso or Scotty or something, then it's going to be really hard to control him just as much as it was to control TA last game. Like I said, still hasn't gone down, so he's worth quite a bit. And Undertaker just still continuing to push this down on bottom. Sitting at almost 2k, so he might actually upgrade his boots again to start TPing on heroes now that he has the Dagon build. So, and on mid we have Less is More and Vavel pushing hard on this T2. And Faith, oh, she did posture around. She was going to go for the swap there, but decided not to. That is a pretty farm Shadow Fiend there, little one. You might not want to do that quite yet. Not until your team is around anyway. In the meantime, Ace in the jungle, still working on that BKB. I don't know if I see it flying out. Yeah, the courier's coming in. So that's her BKB finished. And yeah, JFX just kind of posturing around, throwing out more wards. Ton of wards in this jungle here. And oh, Faith actually spots it out, throws down the sentry ward, and they're able to pick that one off. Stack coming in, and Ace is going to clean this up real quick, and it's a ton of more gold coming up for him. And that's exactly what they need on the Drow. More DPS along with that minus armor from her 2 supports. She'll be able to blow up that Shadow Fiend pretty quick, regardless if he has that BKB. Quap now does have her Aghanim Scepter, so a lot of cooldown reduction on top of that ult. And that's exactly what they need. Getting a ton of damage coming out from her, so it's not just the physical damage, but also the pure damage coming out as well. It's definitely a great tool for the Quap. Pretty much always have to build it on her anymore. You need that early damage, as well as the cooldown reduction. It's so good. And even if you are fighting late game against mega creeps or super creeps, whatever have you, you can just expend that to kind of push out the lane real quick, because it's back up whenever you need it anyway. So good to pick up that Ags. Also does tank you up a little bit. She does get her stats online, so good pickup for her. Now getting close to her level 3 ult, almost 16. So look out for that here soon. And JFX does pick up his Blink Dagger as well. Both sides farming quite proficiently here, and not a ton of fluctuation, just a little bit back and forth, still sitting around that 0 mark on both sides. And yeah, I think the next engagement, once it finally happens, it's going to be a big one, and hopefully one of the teams can get some huge picks here. Don't really see any favor to either of these teams, honestly. There's just so much back and forth, and 2 of their farming right-click carries are so close in net worth, and I believe they're pretty much the same level. Yeah, both sitting at 17. Only difference is that the Shadow Fiend hasn't died yet, so I mean, it's going to be a difficult matchup, both with survivability now with the BKBs. Both have initiations on either team, so it'll be an interesting matchup to see Vavel against not only Ace on the Drow, but G coming in from the back end too. I mean, we talked about it last time. G is a real smart player. He knows what he's up to. He knows when he should go in, when he shouldn't. So look out for that Quap coming in hard. And that's not to say that Vavel isn't a smart player. He's farmed quite professionally. He's sitting at over 3k in net worth right now, or in gold earned, sorry. And they look to smoke up. And this could be the time that they go for the team fight. They're going a little uphill, so not a ton of vision coming out. And they do spot out the Beastmaster, but he does blink away just in time before that Earth Spike goes off by JFX. And a little bit of a failed gank there, unfortunately. And they're just going to look to push this out. Meanwhile, the rest of the team is actually starting to group up here. We have Faith, Ace, and G coming in alongside of Ice9 after he blinked out. So still potential for a team fight. Party Bear sitting in the back end, and Tinker's just going to go back and forth, roam around the map here. He actually just gonna bottle up here, and sitting at 4k in the bank almost. So he might go for full Dagon here right away, unless he wants to build up his boots and get that second upgrade level. And it's hard to say at this point if they want to start team fighting, because they did smoke up down on bottom. They might actually want to jump in, and they're going to need Tinker to do it. There's a lot of damage coming out from the side of Stallion, but I think with a little bit of extra damage, if he wants to go for that Dagon, some of the side of Stallion will be blown up rather quick. Quap maybe picking up, yeah, she's going to pick up the Orchid now, so Orchid going to be used on, it's pretty much good on any of the side of TSD. It's great on the supports. They're just not going to be able to do anything. But if you can lock it down on that Tinker, he's basically out of it too. Tinker is almost always an ability item only kind of hero. And throwing down that Orchid if he doesn't have the BKB, he's not going to get off a lot. I mean, he might get off an early Dagon, and then he's kind of left hopeless. So good pickup for her. And it's obviously great, like I said, for the rest of the supports. Beastmaster has that Blink Dagger too, so they're going to jump in with the initiation from him with the Primal Roar. And it's something they've been lacking a little bit. Sure, they have potential to jump in the swap, and obviously the Blink from the Quap, but it's not great kill potential right out the bat. I mean, swap confuses the enemy hero, for sure. But after that, you have to be perfectly lined up to be able to take him down super quick. And if it's against a team fight, it's hard to continue that and kind of snowball down after you start it with a swap, because the rest of the team's going to come in. Sure, you might get that first kill, but after that, the rest of the team might group up and turn it right back on you. So having the Blink Dagger on the Beastmaster is definitely key. Being able to jump in and Primal Roar and hopefully get it on a couple heroes for them, and they will be able to turn that team fight into more than just kind of a single kill. Less is more actually does have his Aghanim Scepter now, so he's sitting pretty good himself. He's only got 45 last hits, but he's been farming up some heroes, sitting 3-1-3, and I mean, he's pretty happy with his game so far. Back on the side of Stallion, we have all of them grouping up here, all smoked up, and they're going to look for a gank of themselves. Hawk going out to kind of scout some vision. There isn't a lot of vision here for the Radiant side. TSD doesn't have a ton of wards down. And yeah, they're just going to move all the way through the jungle. I don't know if they're going to find anybody. Looks like they're taking habitat here in the enemy jungle. Be happy just going to start farming some camps. And yeah, they might have seen that. They might have seen something going off. There's no real ward here except for their own on the Dire side, so I'm not sure if they got any vision of that before, but they played it pretty much perfectly and got away from any potential smoke gank. Zhao's going to pick up this DD, and yeah, she can drop that TP. She's going to have room for this Aegis, and boy, is she taking it quick. Minus armor from the Wave of Terror coming out from that Venge, and even with the AA Blast coming across map, she's still going to take this really quick, pick up the Aegis, and this could be what she needs for them to kind of just group up and push as a whole team and want to take a team fight or be able to push and take these T2s down and potentially push high ground as well. Drow now has the Eagle Song, so look for her to pick up the Butterfly right away. And like I said, with this Aegis online, she's going to survive through a lot. MKB not coming out anytime soon for this Shadow Fiend if he wants it. He's only got 500, and don't think there's anything on the courier quite yet. Oh no, looks like he is going for the Scotty, so no MKB. He's going to tank up and hit hard, but when Drow does finish his Butterfly, he's not going to get a ton off, so this Ice Blast is going to be a pain in the butt for Stallion. With that Aghanim Scepter, I mean, ooh, he didn't actually level up for level 2 yet. Okay, it's not going to be the worst in the world yet. But even at level 2, with it lasting so long, that's 17 seconds, it's just so annoying to deal with. And up on top, actually, Shadow Fiend expending his ult. They do go on Quap rather hard. Finger coming out. She is really low, and this will be a dead Quap. Ult going out by the Spirit Breaker, and Tinker actually picks off the Vengeful Spirit on the back end. So that's 2-for-1 trade, or 2-for-0, sorry, for Slam Dunk, and they're just going to look to push this T2 tower up on top. Spirit Breaker completing his Shadow Blade and almost has, yeah, he's only 170 gold out from finishing that Silver Edge, so even more coming out for them. And Vavel going to start to push this hard as well now that he's picked up the Scotty. And Drow does finish her Butterfly finally. And it's a great pickup for her. Like I said, Shadow Fiend's gonna have a tough time actually taking her down. Down on bottom lane, Ice Nine's just gonna start to push this even more now that he has a full upgraded boar. You might actually see him build a Necronomicon sometime soon for them to actually get that push out. Because on the side of Slam Dunk, they're pretty tanky now, and it's gonna be hard and difficult to kill them. So being able to win the push game is definitely gonna be needed. Swap going out on Shadow Fiend just before they take down the tower, and Faith is going to go down really quick. Drow doing whatever work he can to Vavel, and even though he's quite low, he's not going to be taken down. Ace throws out the BKB, so she's not hit by the AA Blast. Oh no, it did nick her at the end. Yeah, it looks like Faith's going to be the only one going down, but oh, G actually jumping in. Spirit Breaker's right behind her. She's going to be careful of this. He's actually just going to charge out real quick. A good swap by the Venge there. Faith jumping right on top of Vavel right away, and they almost brought him down, but able to BKB and survive through that while the rest of his team kind of comes up behind him and saves the day, really. He would have gone down had they not had a couple right behind him. And as we watch him go back to lanes, just a farming age is going to be reclaimed here in about 2 minutes, and they're going to look to go for Roshan again here within the next I mean, 5 to 6 probably. Oh, Tinker jumping right in on Ice 9. Ice 9 getting swapped out, but he's going to go down to AA. And Beastmaster actually does finish off the Tinker, I think with his axes there. But still goes down to that AA, and that's 500 gold. And I mean, he's doing pretty well for himself. He's picking up a Ghost Scepter. Jeez, if he gets an Ethereal Blade, it's pretty destructive. Ace looking to push this tower. They have used the glyph, so this will be a tower going down unless... Actually, yeah, Vavel coming in hard. Wants to toss out the ult. Drow BKB's up instead. Throws up the silence. Only hits the line. Ends up backing off. Be Happy going down rather quick. Less is more. Uses his Ghost Scepter that he purchased just 2 seconds ago and ends up saving his life, but still will go down to the Visage. That's a dominating streak for him. Faith going to push hard, and Drow ends up disconnecting from the game here. A little bit of lag. But... yeah, I mean, great pickup by the AA. Almost survived through most of that. Gets a lot of damage out, but just not able to survive at the end of that Visage. And it was the Spirit Breaker that blew up so quick on top of that. I mean, he got right in there, right at the front lineups, and even with tossing out the Blade Mail, they just fought right through it. Drow BKB'd, and yeah, I mean, Ace just took everybody out. And Shadow Fiend had to get back rather quick too. He was sitting quite low.
Top tower has fallen.
So, like I said, that's a 3-for-1 trade for the side of Stallion. And they're just going to look to push this. Already taking the T2, and buyback coming out from the AA, and he's probably just going to toss up the blast as soon as it's up to kind of just deter them from this lane. But they're looking elsewhere. Stallion wants to take this T2 mid and get full map control. They've almost taken all their T2s. All they need is the bottom one, and A Blast will come out, but I don't think it's going to affect too much. And they're probably going to look to go bottom here and just take out the jungle as they move along here. Ward's going out, and like I said, yeah, Ace is just gonna feed up a little bit more. Still has that Aegis. Most likely going to expire pretty soon, but is sitting at 3,100 in the bank, sitting at 20k net worth. And yeah, XP is to kind of... Stallion's taking control of this game a little bit more now. It's a 5k XP lead, and gold swung a little bit more in their direction as well. It was looking quite good for Slam Dunk. They were starting to come back from this, but couple of minor pickoffs, and then it turned into that little bit of a team fight at the end there under that T2 tower, and swung back into Stallion's direction. So they might have to go back to the farming game here. Interesting to see what Shadow Fiend's going to pick up next. He has finished that Scotty, so I mean, he really needs to save for that MKB. He needs something to blow up that Drow, because she survived through everything, and she was in the front lines of that last team fight. So look for him to get that BKB, and he's in Viz right now, and Tinker coming in, almost blowing up Faith, and she might actually go down to AA Blast. And Quap coming in from the back. Tinker does have the Bloodstone. Suicides. Finger going out on the backside. JFX. And Drow actually picks up JFX at the end. Venge did finally go down to that AA Blast, and Spirit Breaker going hard on top of Ace, but she's got so much evasion, she still hasn't gone down. Silence goes out. They do actually see her, and she does end up going down to the Shadow Fiend. Ice 9 TPing in the back, throws out the L on top of Vavel, and Be Happy comes charging back in, gets the stun off, and Shadow Fiend blinks right in front of him, takes out that kill as well. AA Blast coming out right on Party Bear, he'll go out as well. And the Ancient Apparition going down to Quap. This is just a disorganized team fight. Everybody going down which way. But on the side of it, double kill for G. Oh my goodness. So much back and forth. And it ends up just being... yeah, Vavel and G just back and forth on top of each other. Tinker does, however, come back in. And Dagon does go off. He doesn't get off with the heat-seeking missile, though. And he might... yeah, G's able to get out just with the skin of her teeth. Sitting at 40 health left. And she should be able to just jump away. Tinker chasing her all the way down, but I don't think he's going to get to her. Yeah, he's going to disengage, so almost pays with her life, but she is able to take that one back, and just like that, huge team fight, and swings right back, right back into TSD's direction. So, I mean, they're not out of this for sure. Not like last game. Last game was definitely a pummel, and they regrouped. They got together and figured out, hey, what we were lacking last game, we lacked the damage. We need our own damage dealers to kind of dominate this game. We're going to do back exactly what they did to us. And, I mean, there's been a lot of back and forth this game compared to the last one. But Vavel's still staying in this one. Still hasn't gone down, sitting 7-0-7, and top of the net worth charts, doing really well for himself. So this might be a long one unless there's a huge team fight and somebody ends up getting a lucky Rax. But I don't see this one ending anytime soon. There's going to be a lot of back and forth in this game. Be Happy still running around with this Invis rune. Looks like he might be building a BKB of his own. And yeah, I mean he's been dying pretty quick to that Drow, so it's about time that he tanks up and gets some survivability. And unfortunately our stats man is unable to finish this match out, but it was nice having you around, Armpit, and always good to see whatever stats you bring to the table and your little witty comments and plugging in. So thanks to Armpit, and you can go follow him over at New Meta Media along with myself, so at NMM_Armpit and myself at NMM_Sub-Zero, or our main Twitter at NMMDota. And yeah, it's great to be casting here for UGC, and look to cast a ton more. And Spiritbreaker actually killing the Quap there, and Tinker being able to blink out. I don't know if they see him yet. Ice Knight might just expend the ult. Throws at the Hawk, so they do see him. Gets swapped back in, but he blinks back out just before he can TP. Venge actually throws out, and they do take him down. Ace getting the kill off on that one. And they're going to look to push this bottom lane. After that whole engagement, I think Spiritbreaker is going to want to get out. Be Happy is going to be happy with that kill that he got, and he's just going to take it easy. He has finished his BKB, so no point in sticking around and losing his life to that anymore. Roshan about to respawn, actually, sitting at 40 seconds left, and they got the familiars chilling out there. Visage ready to spot that, and most likely going to go back on the Drow here, unless she is 6 slotted. She is slotted, so unless she wants to drop that mask and take away a little bit of her attack speed, that might end up going on the Quap. She has built her Orchid, so she'll be back here in about 14 seconds. And she's actually picked up a Javelin. Interesting to see what that's going to be. I guess it'll be an MKB. She already does have the Demon Edge, so that might be preemptive for the Shadow Fiend. And Ice 9 actually getting gone on hard here by Be Happy. Throws out the ult, and he should be able to get away. Oh, AA Blast coming in from the side is going to hit him. It does. He actually might go down to that AA Blast, and Spiritbreaker is going to charge hard here against Party Bear. Lion coming in with a finger, blows him up, throws down the Earth Spike, Faith stunned out, and Be Happy's going to go down to the Visage Familiars here. And JFX staying a little too long here. He's going to go down, whether it's to the Quap or somebody else. A finally does tick down that Beastmaster, so he goes down. And yeah, JFX picked up by G. And they do see the Shadow Fiend, but I don't think he's going to be able to be picked off here. G's diving really hard here, but I mean, he's so tanky, he's going to be able to get out. Up top here, we still have Undertaker pushing hard with his Tinker. He's been all over the map as well. Picked up his Dagon 4. Does have the Bloodstone. Has died quite a bit, though, and with that one suicide, he's only got 3 charges left on the Bloodstone, so I mean, it hasn't been the best pickup item for him, but he does need that mana regen to kind of get around the map. Rosh has finally respawned, so Drow looks to take this really quick, and yeah, there's an open slot on the Quap, so it's most likely going to go on her. Look at Rosh melt. Oh my goodness. All that minus armor. Cheese being come out this time for third time a Rosh. And looks like the Venge, yeah. Venge with the Glimmer Cape. Now she has the Cheese, so she's got a little bit of tankability on her side. And yeah, Quap actually getting really close to this MKB. Interesting to see. Yeah, Shadow Fiend does actually have the Butterfly. I missed that one. So now that he's 6 slotted, definitely a good pickup by her. And she does actually finish it right now. Ace sitting at 4,200 here. Really on high on the charts here, sitting at almost 25k net worth, just ahead of the Shadow Fiend by about 2k. And yeah, I mean, buck yourself in. This could be a long one. Sitting at 5k in XP, almost 2,500 in gold for Stallion. So not a huge lead. Both right-clicking carries, Drow and the Shadow Fiend, are yeah, they're sitting pretty comfortable. Both 6 slotted pretty much, unless she wants to drop this finally, maybe get the MKB. She does still need to finish this Daedalus. So a couple more things for her, but yeah, they're basically getting ready to be capped out here. Drow's almost 25, Shadow Fiend's at 23, almost 24, so yeah, it'll be anytime soon here that you should start to see them kind of want to engage a little bit more, because it's going to be a long farming game if they don't. And I think they're just going to get a ton of gold here on the Shadow Fiend. All he can really do is complete his boots and turn them into TP boots, but yeah, he needs to save for buyback. And Beastmaster actually picking up Necro 3, so there's your push, like I said before. And that's what they need, because now they've taken out all the T2s. They need to crack high ground, but in order to do that, they need to either kill the Tinker or just kind of split push on their own and do the rest on the map, is what they've been doing already, just ganking and engaging on team fights, because they've been taking them pretty well. So they get the Necro units down, they can start to push out against this Tinker, as well as Beastmaster is just a great pusher overall anyway. So look for him to kind of continue this out. Gets the TP boots online too, so you might see some Rat Dota in this, even with all the farming. There's a Tinker and a Beastmaster online. You're gonna see it. And Be Happy just playing casual here. Hasn't done a ton as of late. After that kill on bottom, he's really taking it easy. I mean, you want most of your focus farm here on Vavel, but since he's pretty much maxed out, most farm's going to go to the Tinker as well as Be Happy. But he doesn't really need as many items now that he's tanked up. So after he finishes off the Silver Edge, I mean, you can really go for it hard, I guess, but these supports kind of need to get in the game as well. Really, Lion only has the Blink Dagger, and AA's done pretty well for himself too. Already had that Ags pretty early, and sitting on with that Ghost Scepter, so he's doing fine himself. And Tinker's actually pushing mid here, going hard on this T3, and he's just gonna start doing this, and this is the rat that I talked about. It's just gonna happen. And Drow having a TP back, and Tinker will just continue to do this. Stallion getting all group up together, and they want to push out mid, but at the same time, over in the jungle here, G actually throwing Vavel up in the air, and she needs to get out. Blink going off. Oh, and Ice9 actually throwing out the ult and Be Happy. They take him down real quick. Quap throwing out the Sonic Wave and gets the secured kill on the Spirit Breaker. And they're going to look for more here. They do find out less is more. He's going to TP away unless Venge gets off that stun. And G actually being turned around, gets the stun off. And she does actually have the Yules offline. Vavel in the background throwing off the ult. Lion gets off the finger, but still goes down instead. Aegis finally goes off from Vavel. And Vavel's going to just try and right-click as much as he can on top of Faith, but he's going to go down as well. And Tinker's in the background, wearing them all down with this March of the Machines. He's going to need to get out. That's a buyback from the Shadow Fiend. So Cheese using that fight, Aegis using that fight, and they still managed to get a 3-for-1 trade for it. So definitely a good engagement by Stallion, just kind of chasing down after they killed that Spirit Breaker. But Visage does actually get picked off in the back end, and that will be one of his familiars again for Vavel. So getting his gold back after that buyback. It gets swapped out. Orchided up by G, and they're all going to jump right back in on him. This is going to be a dieback by Vavel. And Faith running a little low, but G Glimmer capes up. And Vavel's going to be out for a long time, sitting at 110 seconds. He's not able to buy back. Les is more going down real quick to Drow Ranger. And Ace just picking up a ton of kills here. Spirit Breaker jumping in hard with his BKB. And Lion goes down, so does the Venge. Gem being dropped. And I don't think, yeah, Be Happy's going to be fine to get out here, but that's a dieback from the Shadow Fiend. And this is going to be where Stallion want to look to start taking high ground. They all have to get back. Ace needs to heal up. So does the Beastmaster on Ice9. But yeah, this could be their moment here. Even with the Tinker still up and rotating around the map, Shadow Fiend's going to be down for a long time. They're not going to be able to get Aegis anytime soon. I suppose they still have to push out top. But if they want to, they can march down mid here and maybe get a little tick damage. And yeah, Beastmaster actually getting the gem now after that Venge went down, so yeah, they're going to find out pretty much anybody with this Spirit Breaker running around the map. Does finally finish off his Silver Edge, but might be too little too late there, buddy. They're going to be able to still spot you out and pick you off quite quick, so he might have to sell that for something else. We got a DD rune down here on bottom, so look out for that. If Shadow Fiend does finally come back in time, he might actually pick that up, and they might take that and look to go high ground on them. Unless Stallion does pick that up, so. Quap almost 6-slotted. Does have the ulti orb. Could be turned into his Ith of Ice. She's sitting at close to, she's got 2,800 in the bank, so I'm going to say they need that disabled for sure. Especially on top of that Shadow Fiend. They did manage to kill him really quick, but I think he just got caught out there. Good Vengeful Spirit swap. Faith really jumping on him real quick, and they were able to blow him up. But if they can pig stick basically anybody on the side of TSD, especially Tinker, knock him out so they don't get any rat push on them while they're trying to do the same thing, Stallion should be able to control this game a little bit better. Drow finally has finished her MKB as well, so she's doing a ton of damage to this Shadow Fiend, and yeah, he hasn't really picked up anything yet. And with that dieback, cost him a lot of gold, so don't look to him to get his MKB in the next couple minutes. It might be a little bit longer than that if they can hold it. Hawk going out for a ton of vision, a little bit of dewarding here by Faith with that gem on Ice 9, and yeah, they're just going to start to control the jungle. A couple of wards go out, and somebody sometime here is going to have to start pushing. I mean, they're going to have to take this. Whether they want to wait for the Rosh or not and get that Aegis online again, it's going to be a little bit. It's going for the 11-minute mark here, so it's going to be a long time till that Rosh comes up. So they might just look to push down bottom and then maybe go back to farming. It's really hard to say because you can't let TSD farm forever because this Tinker will eventually start to push so much more. But even still, Stallion have the same kind of pushback mechanics with this Beastmaster, and they do have a lot of wave clear potential with the Queen of Pain and Visage obviously doing a ton with his familiars, so they're going to spot for this Rosh and still not up yet. Still got 2.5 minutes. And Visage here, getting close to his Agnum Scepter. He's only 300 off. That'll give him another bird, and that's even more push on top of the side for Stallion. Quap now finishing her Scotty, so that's going to tank her up quite a bit as well. And that's kind of what she needs. She's almost at 3k HP, so it will be difficult to bring her down. And G already, like I said before, is such a smart player that he's going to be bouncing around the map. Now that the Yule Scepter has really done a lot of good for him, picking off some good kills. He's 11-4 and 11. So now that she's tanked up and even has right click with his MKB and the Scotty, she's going to be able to do a ton of work. And they look for checking for the D ward here. They're not going to find anything, but it's fine. Play like you should with good habits, right? So they're just going to check around the map first before they start pushing anything down or wanting to go for any ganks. And now that it's been a couple minutes, Shadow Fiend actually sitting at 3k in the bank, so he's going to be looking for that MKB most likely. He's going to have to sell something, most likely the mech, which is unfortunate because they need that little bit of extra life. And JFX might actually have to build a mech late game for them if they really need to, because I don't think he's going to go Greaves here anytime soon. Tinker just jumping around the map back and forth, and he's actually picked up a pig stick of his own, sitting still in the Dagon level 4, but that's not really the biggest deal now that he's picked up a Scythe, because that's going to be the real controller of any team fight, and he can start going for solo picks if he really wants to. Invisibility rune coming out on Ace, and they're going to look to go in the jungle here. And Tinker's actually TPing back to base, so this would be the time. Down on bottom here, we do see the AA actually getting thrown up with the Eula Scepter. Does put Ghost Scepter on himself, but this will still be a dead, less is more. And yeah, he actually gets off the AA blast just before he dies, so they will tick down a little bit, but dead nonetheless. And now it's a 5v4, so this could be the time that Stallion actually wants to take control of this map game and maybe go for a Rax here on bottom. Rosh still not quite up yet. It's going to be a couple more seconds here, and they might find that and might look to get back, but they're starting to push hard here. Tinker throwing out the March of the Machines, kind of delaying whatever push that they have. Creeps still haven't come in yet, so they can kind of just run this back and forth. Look for them to jump in and engage, though.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
And instead they disengage. I think they do know that Rosh is up now, so clear out the jungle again. Ace is going to go for Rosh once more. And I don't really know who's going to pick it up. Quap's now maxed out. Drow's maxed out. They might actually throw it on the Visage now that he's close to Ags. Nah, probably on the Beastmaster. He's getting pretty tanky too. Probably sell that bottle. So they do spot it out. this will be another fast Rosh. And actually on mid, Spirit Breaker going down exceptionally quick. Gets a crit on top from Ace. And Tinker's going to have to get out with his life here. So Spirit Breaker going down really quick. Does have buyback, however. And it's not going to get too much done. I mean, Stallions gonna take that Rosh anyway now that they know it's up. So good little pick off by them. So a little bit more map control, not having to worry about that Spirit Breaker charging in. Another Rosh going to go down, most likely going to go to the Beastmaster. Oh my goodness. He just melts so quick. Almost an hour in, and Rosh going down in basically 6 to 7 seconds. Lots of minus armor, lots of damage coming out. So Venge actually picking up the Aegis there. I imagine with the swap she is going down rather quick, so want to get her a little bit more lifetime. And Visage actually picking up the cheese there. Does have enough gold to finish his eggs, but he might just be hanging on for buyback as they look to push down mid. And could this be it? Could it be the time they want to go in and take down Arax? Because somebody's going to have to do it at some point in this game. It's a lot of back and forth. They do spot out the Shadow Fiend, but Mr. Swagger Fiend himself is just going to walk around, and I don't think they can jump on him quite yet. Venge actually might look for the swap. I think she wanted to. No matter. Shadow Fiend gets back instead, and they're just going to continue to push this back and forth. And Beastmaster with his upgraded TP boots jumps right back in. And TP's on those Visage Familiars, and I think this might be it. This might be the time. They've committed so much. They have the Aegis now. They have another cheese. This is the time. March of the Machine's going off. It's going to clear that creep wave really quick, but they need to go for it. Swap going out on the Tinker. They do get the stun on him. He blows up so quick. Huge crit coming out, and he buys right back after Ace takes him down. That's a mega kill streak for Ace. And now they're running a little scared. They're stuck inside their base after that great swap play, and she's still got Aegis. That was Tinker was blown up so quick there. Or just real quick. And they've taken a huge control lead over this whole game again. They're over 10 grand in gold, and as well as XP, and it's going to be real hard for TSD to get out of their base, even with the Tinker. What can they do? I mean, the Visage Illusions, or Familiars, sorry, they're going to go run around the map. Drow's bursting down. We have Quap up top, just taking down creep waves like nobody's business. Almost got 3,800 in the bank. And yeah, they're just gonna keep pressuring these lanes eventually until maybe Swap gets up again, and they're gonna do the same thing. And Tinker won't be able to buy back this time if they kill him, unless they go for somebody else. And they actually go hard on Quap. Charge went off, but yeah, she's gonna be able to get out rather easily. Spotting out a few Sentry Wards here, but they still got that gem, so kind of a waste of gold here on the side of TSD if they haven't spotted that out already. Satanic coming out from the Drow, and Ace is just even tankier. Now with the BKB, the Butterfly, now he has the Satanic. It's going to be really hard for TSD to kind of push back into him. If TSD can get off a huge team fight, throwing off the AA Blast and kind of get a full collective, at least hit on 3 or 4, and sort of wear them down. Now that he has his level 6 or his level 16 ult, along with the Agnum Scepter, and if they can just get off a good Shadow Fiend ult, I mean, Drow's BKB's down to, I'm pretty sure it's down to 5 now. No, it's at 6. Swap goes off again, actually. Stun going off on Tinker, and Spirit Breaker charges right in, to no avail though, and unstoppable streak for Ace blows up the line, sitting right in the front lines, and this could be the time they want to go in. They're going to have to stay far back. T3 does finally go down on mid. And Lion doesn't have buyback. Just so much gold on these heroes. Drow sitting at almost 3,400 or 34k net worth. Quap herself is at 30k. Shadow Fiend next close to her on 28k. And Tinker himself is at 25. I mean, sure he's been rotating around the map, but he hasn't actually farmed that much. And he hasn't been able to farm heroes at all. It really has been the Drow and the Quap combo kind of doing a lot of work with this. Getting so much damage. And I mean, you'd think that they wouldn't get any control around the map, but able to just dominate. And Spirit Breaker being thrown up in the air does already use his Blade Mail, so they're going to turn right back on him. Goes down to the Visage. Quap throwing out the pure damage ult on Vavel, so he's a little bit low. Oh my goodness, the crit gets swapped up from the Drow Ranger. He's going to go down. Tries to get off the ult, but goes down instead. Less is more goes down as well. Aegis being popped. Lion actually gets the kill off on a Wicked Streak Seed for Quap, so a ton of gold to him, but he might actually go down to this Venge. Tinker being blown up. That's a double kill for Quap. And Shadow Fiend actually gets thrown up in the air again, actually manages to get off his ult this time, and he's going to go hard on Ice 9, but he has to get back too. Quap comes in, they do get another stun off from the Venge, and he's going to go down. That's a dieback, triple kill for the Quap. That's 3 for 1 now with the dieback, and Tinker can't buy back, and that's GG.
Radiant's middle tower is
2 games to Team Stallion taking this series on UGC, and although a much different lineup from both teams, Team Stallion just able to take full handle of this team fight and just kind of dominate through all their lanes by the end of it. And they did get a ton of gold out here on top of the Shadow Fiend, able to get a lot of items on him. Spirit Breaker doing a little bit of work in the early game charging around, but overall, I don't know if that Tinker pick really got it done for him, and they just couldn't push out enough lanes. I didn't see a ton of damage coming out from them. They were able to block up most of it. And in the end here, Drow and Quap taking most of the team fight here and basically picking up the win for him here on this UGC best of 2 match between Irresistible Stallions taking the victory over Team Slam Dunk. So that'll be it for tonight, and thanks for joining my cast on Twitch. And come back again, follow us on Twitch on UGC League, and follow me over on Twitter at NMMDota, and we'll be trying to cast as many games as possible and keep you posted in the future. Thanks for joining me tonight, and everybody have a safe night and play some more Dota.